Welcome to another episode of the Not So Normal Rugby Show. Of course, I'm your boy Hershey, and this week I've got a special treat for you in terms of my co-host. And he's a man that a lot of people should know in the rugby fraternity. He was brilliant on his day. He's going to be brilliant today as well. Lucian is out on assignment. But Dale van Schalkwijk, how's it, brother?
I'm all in yourself, Hershey.
I'm good, man.
It's an honor to be here with you guys. I'm not the same Lucian keeper though, but happy to be in his seat for one night. Flip, we are fortunate to be back on the club rugby scene. Clubs are filled. Just good to be out there again.
Yeah, it is indeed. For those of you who do not know, I'm going to let Dale give you a little bit more background on who he is, Dale.
I've been around Hershey. At a young age, I've been around. I've played at Durban, played at Girls River, UWC, and Tigerberg. I can say nothing bad about all of these clubs, and I follow them with everything I can, and I follow them on the socials, and I also literally follow them. I'll be following Girls River Wednesday night when they take on UCT, and I can't wait to see what's going to happen there.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting indeed. So the former Superliga player is now the super sub. Speaking of subs, we're going to substitute 2 chairs and we're going to bring in another one. So we've got a little bit of a treat for all of you guys, and we're going to have a chat right now with the president of Hamilton SPRFC, Mr. Dave Kagan. Just watch this. Well, we've got an absolute treat for all of you guys at home tonight. With us, the president of Hamilton's Rugby Club, Mr. Dave Kagan. Dave, how are you?
I'm very well, and it's such a privilege to be able to make something known about our club. People know that we're an old club, but that's all they know about us.
Well, we're going to get into it right now. Can you just explain to the viewers who exactly is Dave Kagan?
Well, Dave Kagan used to play a little bit of rugby at Belleville Rugby Club, and then in 1975 I joined this club because I was living out this side. And I was privileged enough to be the chairman from 1988 to 1990, and then from 2004 I've been the president of this club until now, because there's only one way you get out of your presidency, and that's to die.
Literally part of the furniture. I am excited to know more about this fantastic club, and I think you guys are as well. So Dave, the floor is yours. Hamilton's, where did it all start?
Thank you very much. Well, we must remember that before clubs played rugby, because we are the first club, there was rugby being played. The Colonials, the Handsome played against the Ugly. You know, everything was going on out the Greenpoint Common. So whatever happened was always, this is where rugby started. On the Greenpoint Common, our first field was the Greenpoint track. So what happened, because there were rugby games being played, you needed a club. And eventually, because Bishops were playing and Sacks were playing. And then in 1875, a meeting was called by a Scotsman, Walter Nightingale. And a meeting was held, and lo and behold, they called the club the Hamilton Rugby Club. No, at that stage it wasn't the rugby club, it was football club, because rugby hadn't yet come in. The game was played under the Winchester Code. They used to run with these big round balls. Yes. More sumo wrestlers should have played than rugby players. And the Winchester Code that's the way it was played. Then in 1878, we started playing under the rugby banner, and we still only had the name Hamilton Football Club. So in 1875, when we were formed, the year after, Villagers was formed. The Villager Football Club, which coincidentally is still called the Villager Football Club until today. We adopted rugby only later on. Then with the Winchester Code, suddenly now we played rugby. We had unbelievable people that were here. We had our first year in the Grand Challenge, because we called the meeting at the old Masonic Hotel. The meeting was called to actually introduce the then clubs that were playing into a competition, which was the Grand Challenge. And the idea was to have some uniform rules, to pick the sides, and everything to have some control. That was in 1883. And then as time went on, Hamilton's had so many firsts. We scored the first try ever, one of our players, against the British Isles in 1891, Bull McLaughlin's side. And Hasie Haasbroek, sorry, bless him. We had a player called Hasie Haasbroek. He's no longer with us. But Hasie Versveld, because we had 4 Versveld brothers playing here. Loftus was one of them. Hasie Versveld scored the very first try ever against any touring side. They beat us, that tour, they got 224 points, the British Isles side, and we got 1. And that was Hasie Versveld try, because in those days a try was only worth 1 point. So that's the extent that Hamilton's, we threw in the Versveld brothers, and as time went on, our players, I mean the very first, the Springboks used to get a number, and the very first number was a gentleman called Ben Duff, who was a fullback who came from Hamilton's as well.
Wow.
So there were so many things that happened from here. And then if I can fast forward, let's go all the way through now. As I say, in 1910, the Hamilton Football Club amalgamated with the Seapoint Rugby Club. That was in 1910, and that is where the first time we became the Hamilton, not Hamiltons, everyone thinks it's Hamiltons. It's the Hamilton Seapoint Rugby Football Club, because Hamilton, by the way, was the name of the football club that the Scotsman, Mr. Nightingale, when he called the meeting, they called it after that. We had a white jersey with a red sash and the Maltese cross when we started, and as time went by, we changed our jersey. There were thinner stripes. The Wanderers Club in Johannesburg, they needed a set of jerseys. So their secretary was our ex-secretary. He called for a set of jerseys, and all we had was our jerseys, because they wanted maroon ones. It was then a much thinner stripe. Till today, Wanderers still wear that jersey. Wow. They've got a little emblem of a Hamilton rugby player in their stained window in there, just to show that they so much appreciated what we did for them. And as I've said, as the time went on in the war years, from 1939 to 1945, we amalgamated with Villager. We played as one side, and in fact, we could only field 2 sides as a combined effort. So all the people who think that there's this animosity between them and ourselves, we really, as a brotherhood, we worked together in those war years, which a lot of people aren't aware of, because everyone thinks there's this hate relationship. Well, on the field, we won't say we're the friendliest, but certainly off the field, we've got mutual respect for each other. And another myth, people seem to think that we were always this strong club as we are and have been the last few years. In 2000, as I say, I'm really fast forwarding, but in 2000 we went down to the B division. And we were in the B division, and in fact in 2003 we would have been relegated. We had a match here against Belhar. One of the Belhar supporters attacked the referee with a flag stick, hit him over the head, and we were docked 5 points because it was our home game. So both clubs were in fact docked 5 points. With that, we would have gone down to the first division. And I promise you, with the utmost respect to the first division clubs, that would have been the end of this club. That really would have been the end of this club. However, we do show spirit on and off the field. And when the union found us guilty, we appealed. The union the appeal committee found us guilty. We threatened to go to court. And on the steps of the court, they said, let's go to arbitration. It went to arbitration, and we were found not guilty, and thus we retained our status in the Super League B, as it was. And we stayed in Super League B till 2005, when we had an unbelievable year. All our teams won their games, from under 20 all the way through. So 2006, we were now back in the Super League A, as it wasn't then called Super League A, but certainly that's what the equivalent was. And we weren't doing very well at halfway. We changed coaches at halfway. Until today, the coach then still doesn't talk to me. But we changed the coaches in 2006. We held our head up high. All the way through to 2009, we were not just the Western Province League champions, but in fact we were the South African champions. And what's important about that to note, you know, the universities stopped playing in that community cup or whatever they called it as time went on. but they were playing then. In fact, we beat Picker in the final. So, so it really was an achievement that we obviously are proud of and always will be proud of. In fact, it's only the 15th time we won the Grand Challenge was in 2009. So we went 73 years without winning that Grand Challenge. So there we are. There's the myth that we were always this top side. But as time went on, I must say, unfortunately, there was no rugby in our area. The schools had stopped playing rugby. So we had no alternative but to create an atmosphere here that people would want to come to. And slowly we built up a junior side. The juniors, now we are so proud of our juniors. They go from under 8s all the way through to under 13. We have the privilege of knowing that 6 or 7 of our players from last year, under 13s, are actually now playing for the top school clubs. Your Paul Roosters, your Paul Boys High, your Paul Jumps, they've actually been scouted and they're playing there. And that's such a feather in our cap, because we are here to encourage players to come here, and with that they see that they can go and reach higher accolades. And that is what we're here for. We try to bring them together. We work very much, I know every club talks about being a family, etc. But we truly have got an unbelievable understanding with the parents. They've become members of the club. You can't get them out of here on a Monday and Wednesday and a Thursday. They like it here.
Yeah, we've seen that firsthand actually there, because you were speaking about your juniors and they actually played here tonight.
Well, there we are. And you'll see they're playing the top clubs. I think they played Rondebosch today.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, they are doing exceptionally well. So from under 8 right through, and as I've said, we've got those parents now as members. It can only go from strength to strength. And we are so lucky this year. We have an under 20 side this year that has done I was going to say almost the impossible. They beat all 3 universities. Now at under 20 level, you don't beat Stellenbosch, Cape Town and UWC. And they've done that. They lost their first game on Saturday against False Bay, still picked up 2 points. So with 1 game left, they need to win with a bonus point, and then the league is theirs. Now that's unheard of for an under 20 side from a club to achieve something like that. So we are very fortunate, and we got a lot of under 19s who are also playing at under 20 level. It augurs well for next year, because these players are here. They will become club players. In the past, we've used academies to play here, and what happens in June, July, they all go home, and you never see them again. But these players are committed. They are very much part of the club, and we are very, very fortunate. So the way forward, we hope to make the playoffs this year. We need to come in the top 6. We believe we will. We've got 1 more game to play at first team, and if they win that game with a bonus point, then they will come 6th.
Big derby.
Yes, SK Warmers. It's always a pleasure playing against SK Warmers, especially at SK Warmers. But I'm sure, being friendly neighbours, we'll have a wonderful game and a lovely day with them. So that basically is where we are at the moment. We have gone from strength to strength. We've built up a tremendous vibe, if I can call it that. And the parents, the players, we really do work together as a brotherhood. And it's not just words. I hate every club suddenly is a brotherhood and everyone is a family. But we genuinely endeavour to earn that. Yeah. In the beginning of the season, we said to them, you're not, already brothers.
Yeah.
We don't even know each other. We don't know one another. But as time went on, believe me, especially those hard games out there, that's when you get to know who's going into those dark places with you.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they're standing up, they're taking hands, they're going into those dark places, and we can only hope that after reaching the playoffs that we do reasonably well, and then we all look forward to next year and the years ahead of us.
Oh, well, you heard it first from the president. Mr. President,
My name's Dave.
Are you going to France next year, Dave?
Well, I'll have to be selected to go because they're very, very fussy who they're going to take. Yes.
Oh, we'll speak to Rob a little bit later, and maybe we'll throw it in there. But Dave, we would like to say thank you for your time. Thank you for coming onto the show and teaching us a little bit more and educating us about the rich history of Hamilton SPRFC.
Thank you very much, and it's a privilege for me to be on your show, just to be able to say something about our club, because we want everyone to know what we're about.
Awesome. That's 1875. I wasn't even a thought at that time. That's when Hamilton Hamilton Football Club was founded. Rich vein of history. If you want to get involved here, you know what to do. Check it out on their socials, and of course you can go to hamiltonrfc.co.za for more information. We'll be back after this.
Well, we hope that you enjoyed that as much as myself and Dale did. Did you know that it was never called Hamiltons? Because that's what we always call it.
When Mr. Kagan said it a little earlier, my eyes went bigger. I was like, Hamilton Rugby Club. Makes sense, because I always send messages, Hamiltons, Hammies, and now we know Hamilton. I'll never make that mistake again.
Jeepers, I would also, but I think it's because of the C point. The C point starts with an S, so that's what we call the Hamiltons. But there you have it. You've heard it out of the horse's mouth. The man has been here since 1975, celebrated the 100th centenary year, and he's going to celebrate the 150th as well. As you heard, you know, you only leave here as president when you die. But he's still got a long journey ahead of him. Dave Kagan, absolutely fantastic character and beautiful personality as well. Doing good work as the president of Hamilton's. Speaking of good work, there was some good work done by us as Club Rugby Live this weekend, especially in Western Province, because you were at a certain former club of yours game in the northern suburbs, and I was all the way out almost at the coastline for another game.
So of my former club as well.
Of another former club of yours as well. So we'll get into those in just a bit. But for those of you who did not get the opportunity to watch the games, these highlights are coming your way. It's Brackenfell and UWC and Tygerberg going to the log leaders, Unimil, and they got the points.
We'll keep it in front. And they go up. Good set piece taken there from Spreeth, the Eichmann. Spreeth seems to be a big jumper in this Brackenfell team. And Brackenfell breaks away. The younger boys. It's again Spreeth up in at the line out. As UWC looked to more, Brackenfell, my apologies, seemed to more. And UWC well defended. As Brackenfell looked to get into the plays. And UWC getting up there very quickly. Valansky missing the turnover. Throbela with an offload, beautiful on the inside to Jurgens. Jurgens dragged down by Maynard. Clayton Daniels. Spots some space at the back. Moton is on his way. Wolfrachum cleaning up. Just turns on, takes him down. Hands in there and slowing it down. Off the foot, the ref calls that one. Spreeth involved there with Kuchlenberg. Getting in there again. Spreeth being a menace at ruck time. Williams putting it on foot. Finds some grass. Grobler will just pick this one up and puts that one on the boot. Finds grass too. Look at those skills by Grobler. Definitely been watching some of the warm-ups as we wait for the Premier League to start soon. Taking the blind on, we have Captain Roo. 2-on-1, finds his man Grobler and he's in at the corner. Moritz finds his jumper and we've got a little bit of a set piece move there from the forwards. Keeping it cute and Maynard in at the corner. Grobler restarts this game, chased by Kwacha. Almost getting there, and the Lange, captain of UWC, has been immense today with the take there. Williams. Heineke spots some space and he's off. And he gets his pass to Conradi with a quick pass to links, and it's hands the Lange. Oh my goodness! Would you look at that? This is club rugby, ladies and gentlemen. Start here through Grobler. Grobler goes deep. On to Maynard, the try scorer. Maynard scoring a quick 5 double in this game. And WC looking to spread the ball now. The kids have confidence. Peter Williams, oh, and it's Jurgens who picks that one up, and Brackenfell are back in this. First things first, winning the line out, and the Lange carries, he looks to be over. He's the captain over. Ref to make a call. I'll speak to the assistant ref. WC there with a quick line. And Brackenfell are on the attack. WC will look to keep them out with Chester at the base. Klein Hans takes it to the line. He spots a gap and he's on the way. Vragom brings him down. Ref gives the pitch under the pump. Conradi will look to take this one out as he gets out. Looks for the cleaners are there. Maynard taking 9 here. And into cast Lambrecht.
Leave it, Blue. Wasn't you? He must get out first.
Straight to the Lange, the captain. Conradi. Williams. Oh, Henneke with the hands. And Peter Williams in space. This is dangerous, ladies and gentlemen. Into Cornwall, Conradi's hands, and he is under the poles. But Kawacha almost.
Brandt with a kick. Looks good from my angle. Yep. Adrian Roberts. Always under case in these lineouts from a throwing perspective, but Unimil competed for that one. Got it back. Hilton Lobbers takes it up. Leon Carstens now with a carry. Labib Kanawaya brings it out. Janeid Arendse. It's Elroy Brandt in the gap. Cheslin Roberts. He's going to score. And he does. Good try. That is. What does he do with this one? Yes. A center. Ball goes out to the back.
No! You got it in front.
Yep, they made contact, says the referee. It's a maul now. Tigerberg on the attack. Colwyn Manchester. He's got the ball at the back of this maul. This is a big maul by Tigerberg. Big maul indeed. The entire team is in that maul. The same maul, still going. Says the referee. Still going forward. Tigerberg on the attack. Brought down illegally, says the referee. Try time! He puts it over. Does look like Rowan Achenbach is off the field as well. That's a brilliant kickoff, but it's gathered by Tigerberg. The visitors in front here, 13 points to 11. Tristan with a kick. Tristan September, there is Elroy Brandt, shots down! He shots down! Angus Green, he's got a clean pair of heels! Right down Tigerberg! Tigerberg on the up, Adrian Robertson with a kick. That's taken, but it's not out. Janeid Arendse. Daniel Roberts kicks it downfield. It's cleared now. Labib Kanamaya has also left the field, and that's Lawrence Pearson that's on. The kick once again coming. Kick back once again, Tigerberg. They approaching. Quite Solomons takes the ball up. Tiny van Wyk with a clearance on Colwyn Manchester. Jolante Losper now. Pearson again. Arendse. Captain Carstens. What's he going to do with this one? Just absolutely shoves them out of the way. Picks it up. There's the number 18. Bjorgen Julius. Goal goes out wide. Logan Basson gives it off now. It was Elroy Brandt. Steps inside. Passes it out wide. Oh yes! Unimo is going to score.
Yep, those were the highlights. Those were the results from your game. I mean, you were commentating Brackenfell, UWC. It was good seeing your team, your former team, back in action. I mean, they've been away for the holidays and stuff. Back now
Coach Paul doing some good stuff there with the boys?
Yeah, very interesting. They've got a good large group of coaches that have played at the highest tier, and good to see them giving back in this way. The boys definitely put out a good performance. They were 10-0 down at halftime, brought it back very late, scoring one in the 78th minute.
Wow.
Then thereafter just holding on to the pressure and putting it out. Very impressed by a lot of players in this game. The 9 and 10 of Brackenfell were up there. And then obviously Bola's kid was tearing it up behind that pack. And then Peter Williams on 13.
So those are your standout guys of the weekend from your game.
100%.
Oh, well. 24 points to 17 was the score there. UWC coming back with a bang. Coming back with a vengeance, I would say. My game, though, very interesting. Very interesting. I was out at Theo Marais Park. For those of you who had the opportunity to watch the game live, an absolute spectacle of what club rugby is actually about. The number one team in, I would suggest, South Africa at this point, because this is the best league in the country. There is no doubt about it. You've played in this league countless times. Going to Milnerton. Okay, let's not get it twisted. You all know that they beat Kuils River away the previous week. But going there, a week after a tough encounter at Kayla, I mean, it still physically should have taken a lot out of them. But they went to Unimil, and for me personally, from the very first kickoff, they had their number. They absolutely hammered them on defense. They always rushed so much so that they started making unforeseen errors in ways that we would never have seen. I mean, you didn't get the opportunity to watch the game, but it was, on both ends it was scrappy, but I mean, Coach Ish and his staff, they surely should be looking at this and saying, yep, okay, that's a blip, but we can do better next time.
100%, I can imagine. Can you tell me how Tygerberg looked? Because I can imagine they've got such a young backline, but so exciting with with Roberts on 12 there,
Yeah.
a former Unimil player.
Yeah.
I can imagine what they
Adrian
look
Roberts at 12 looked brilliant. He played against Cheslin. Was starting at 13. It was brilliant. It was a brilliant game all around. I think the standout players for me in that game on Saturday, from a neutral perspective, was yes, Tygerberg won, but Colin Manchester, the hooker, he did an absolutely fantastic job. He was kind of like the Skulk Brits of Tygerberg, man. He was everywhere. He was eating dust at times with the tackles. He was in there with the rucks, the mauls. There was a beautiful try. For those of you obviously saw it right now on the show. There was a beautiful try, the winning try for me. A full line-out, a pressure throw at line-out behind. Pressure throw, and he absolutely nails it, and the entire team joined. Angus Green is the only player on the far left side of the field. Everybody else is in the mall. But that is what the game was, you know. They wanted it more, or it was brilliant. Chad Geswind also stood out at 9, did a fantastic job. And yeah, it was a brilliant game. Nonetheless, there is other results that we need to get to as well. What do you think of this? Marty's beating SK Warmers 54 points to 7, yeah?
Very interesting. It seems like SK Warmers is basically standing up. I think you guys predicted a 3-digit one there as well.
Yeah, I was guilty of that.
I think SK Warmers is coming in here for the last 4-5 games with a lot to play for, definitely proving it.
Yeah, False Bay getting the points over the club where we are right now. Hamilton's 45 points to 12. But in the game that I would just want to pick your brain about, UCT or Aikis 5, Double 3.
I believe it was 0-0 up until the 70th minute or deep into the 70th minute. Wow. There's definitely no highlights to watch, but I can tell you anybody that was at the game must have enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Could have only been stuck in the middle.
It was a real scrap.
And now all of a sudden UCT looks like they're starting to stretch their legs as they get closer to the top of the log and undefeated. But they've got a lot of big boys still to play.
Yeah, they've got a lot of games coming up, and we can't wait to bring you some of those games live. But what I want to speak to you about quickly, very, very quickly, is our second annual golf day. And that's happening at the Boshenmere Golf Club, also known as the Paul Golf Club. And that's at the 11th of August this year. You're a big golfer, Dale?
100%. Most beautiful club in the country.
Really? You
According
think
to,
so?
okay, not the most beautiful, but I love Boschemere. Just the atmosphere, it's amazing with 27 holes.
It's a
What
vibe.
more could you ask
It's
for?
an absolute vibe. We can't wait to be there, and that's happening at the 11th of August, 11 a.m. You can sponsor a tee for $1,250, but you can also buy a 4-ball for $3K. For more information, 074 774 2904. That is the number. I know you were talking about me and remembering Pierre's number here. You know, the family needs to know each other's numbers here. But for more information, contact Pierre on that number, and it'll be on the bottom of your screen as well. Or alternatively, you can email us at clubrugbylive@gmail.com for more info. Yeah, man, I'm looking forward to golf day. I'm not that big of a golfer. I'm a cricketer and a rugby coach, and I play a little bit of football as well. Big Liverpool supporter, mind you. But I don't know about this golf thing. I told Pierre I'm rather going to enjoy everybody else playing, and then I will just have a chat with everybody. I think that's good. So I'll watch you play, and myself and Lucian can go around and have a chat with everybody. I think that's good. What do you think about that?
Sounds like a plan.
It's going to be a play on the 11th of August, 11 a.m. first tee off. And it's going to be a lot different as well. There's a different format that we're using, so we're going to make it a lot interesting indeed. Now, just before we go on to our Boland review, I just want to add something. We're going to have a couple of guys there as well on the 11th of August. You've heard of a guy called Brayton Paulser, right?
Definitely.
Oh, he's an absolute darling of Western Province rugby. And the Boland as well. So those of you who don't know, he's actually a Boland boykie. Or where he comes from initially. So he's going to be there as well. So you want to have a chat with Brighty, just pick his brain a little bit. Get on down. Boshenmere Golf Club, the 11th of August. I can't wait. It's literally 10 days away. I'm
Yes.
thinking about it. Thursday, the 11th of August. Contact Pierre 074 774 2904. On the bottom of your screen, it's there. This golf day is also in collaboration with our partners, FFG Sports. We'll be back right after this because you guys need to catch up on everything Boland right about now.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and that was the highlights of the Boland League. We'll move straight into some of those results, and I'll go through them from the top. Weskus, Langebaan 24 for St. Helena.
Oh, it was a draw?
Thoughts on that?
Yes, so that was a game. I don't know if you know, and I don't know if you guys at home should know, but Pierre, absolutely fantastic CEO, love the man. He did something last week, and Langebaan scored an absolutely outrageous try last week as well. By the way, it's on TikTok. Help us get to 1 million views on that one alone. Absolutely fantastic stuff. That is a derby of note. First and foremost, St. Helena's on top. Langebaan needed the points more,
Yes.
to try and just be in contention there. Because it is currently St. Helena, Saldanha, Langebaan. They're all in it there. So it was quite an interesting result, a draw in Langebaan.
I can only imagine, and it's a high-scoring one. But we'll move over to Wit Central. Delicious 29, Sierra 7.
I think that's a tough one for everybody from Sierras to take. I mean, it's a derby game, guys. Derby game. That's quite a big score for a derby. I think a lot more to come. There's quite a lot of games left for everybody in all the regions. So I think there's more to come from Sierras, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, and then we'll look at the Overberg results. The game that we covered there was Safkol versus Grabouw, 18-9 to Safkol.
The team from town against the team from the farm. I called it last week, and it's exactly what it is, a big Grabouw derby. Everybody came out in numbers, and Safkol just cementing that place or cementing their position in that top 3, trying to hit that top 12 spots.
Then we move over to the results in Bria Langeberg. The game we covered there was Worcester Villages 34, Montague 8.
Yes, so what a scoreline, eh? I was speaking to Lucian about it last week as well, about how Villa has not been up to their high standards, but I must say, brilliant result for the supporters, because you know, die ding ruk op Boland Park in die woeste, man. And the Villa boys, yes, so they were singing their song. They've got their own song, so they were probably pumping that number. You know what I mean? It's lekker in die Boland, man, especially when in Worcester, when Villages win.
100%. Maar ek wil 'n Villa wees. Yeah. But Swartland, in the Swartland League, we covered Mauriceburg versus Never Despair. Another draw, 13-13.
It was a weird weekend in the Boland, I would say. Some of the results going the way that a lot of people thought they were, and this result didn't go the way I thought that it was going to go. But nonetheless, good result for Mauriceburg, I would say. But there's something big happening for Never Despair this weekend. We'll catch up on that a little bit later.
Okay, and then last league here I have is Noordwester, Delicious 17, the Citrusdal 16.
Delicious and Citrusdal, close game, one single point separating them. I think, as I said earlier, there's a lot of games left in the Boland. That's a cool thing about the Boland leagues. It's the fact that you play both home and away. So there's always an opportunity waiting in the wins the next week. And all these teams that we've just went through, they've got the opportunity to try and establish a position in that top 2 to get to the eventual top 12. I mean, everybody wants to play at Wellington.
100%.
Definitely. Now, speaking of playing, we've got a lot of games that we're covering this week as well. We'll talk about what's happening in the Weskus. Young Hearts and Mamre. Any predictions for that one?
I'm going to go with Mamre by 5.
Ooh, Mamre by 5, you say. Overberg, I'm going to pick out a game here. We're not doing this live yet. We're just waiting. But if you do us a favor and you click on that bell button, there's a notification button there, and you'll get notified when we do this game. But this is a big game for me. Black Leaves and Rangers Brutasto.
Yeah, I'm going to put my head out there. Draw. We've had so many draws. I think we're on to something here. Let's go for a draw.
Dale. I'm gonna do one better. I'm gonna say Black Leaves are at home. Gans by. We all know. Brilliant team. They're physically very strong. They've got explosive backs. But so has Rangers Brutasto. And they've got the opportunity to cement a place in the top 3. Try and get. I mean, Worcester and Caledon is up there. They win this one. It's gonna be absolutely beautiful for them. But just another one in the Overberg quickly. Big derby. Atlantic Hermanos versus Austin.
Oh, I've got some close peers from Austin, so I've got to go with Austin, unfortunately or fortunately. So Austin by 10.
Austin by 10, he says. Wat Centraal, we covering Roses United and Hillcrest. What do you think is going to happen there?
Ooh, Hillcrest.
Hillcrest. Oh, he's going against the grain. I love this man. Lucian would have said Roses by so much and so much. But Dale's going against the grain. I'm still going to keep a close eye on Roses United because they are top of the log at this point. So I will call it Roses. Swartland, quite a few games here. But the big game is the derby. Never Despair and Westbank.
I'm going to go with Westbank.
You're going to go with Westbank?
I always enjoyed watching Westbank play. I've got to back them.
I did a prediction for the previous derby, and my friend Kaylin, who's out in Ceres at the moment, she's from Malmesbury, she said to me, it can't be Westbank. And I banked Westbank for the game. They Never Despairs game, and they actually won the first game. So I'm going Spares. All the way Spares this week. So we're going against the grain here. Bria Langeberg, we've got quite a few games here. I'm going to pick one. I'm just going to pick one out that I see that's a really exciting one for me. Proteas and Worcester Villages. We've covered Proteas before. How do you see that one going?
Worcester Villages.
Villa.
Here we go.
I'm going against the grain here as well. Then Noordwester, picking out one game. And I think that's for me, that's going to be a really exciting game because of previous results the couple of weeks ago. Citrusdal and Marines, what do you think?
Citrusdal.
You're going for the home side?
Nee.
Dale always going against the grain. But we love it nonetheless. It is time to put a coach into our hot seat. It's time for Coach's Corner.
Welcome back to the Not So Normal Rugby Show. And of course, this is our segment where we really get into the coaches. It's Coach's Corner, and with us today is an esteemed backline coach doing some fantastic work with the guys. For those of you who had the privilege to watch what Hamilton's has been doing, I'm telling you guys, some great things gonna happen in the future with those boys. But let me not get into it. Let me speak to the man, or let him speak for himself. Coach Rob, how's it? Are you well?
I'm good, but you gotta introduce me to that coach that we were just
Is
talking
it?
about. Yes, please.
Yes.
We need him.
Every coach that we intro into the show is like, oh no.
Very
man,
modest.
Very modest, very humble, and that's exactly what the guys at Hamilton's do and who they are. Club for 147 years, like I said, of friends and family, and that's what they are here at Hamilton's. How are you, and how's the journey been for you as a coach of Hamilton's? Now, I mean, you're the first team backline coach. It's lekker to work with these ones.
Yeah, it's awesome. Look, you guys, you've seen it, how it looks outside here. The scenery is amazing, and obviously the tradition coming from 1875, and we feel it every day. There's such a big following all over the world for us, and I'm absolutely humbled to be part of this journey for however long it takes.
Oh, awesome stuff. Now, before we get into it really, no, we've touched base on Emmys right now, but tell the viewers a little bit more about you.
Oh, well, no, I've just been, I just love rugby. I love working with the guys. I do a bit of, in my spare time when I'm not at the club, I have a daytime job, and that needs to pay the bills. And but otherwise, I've just been brought up, grown up in a rugby family, and just always had a passion of working with these guys.
Coach Rob, I think for me the most fascinating thing is guys at professional level have a full day, 4 times a week, 5 times a week of training, and then on a Saturday they play. The beauty in club rugby is you guys train twice a week. Thursdays captains run. You only have 2 to 3 hours to train boys before a Saturday. How do you go about that? How do you get that right to get the recipe on a Saturday right?
So our typical week will start on a Monday where we have a full recovery session. We get the guys through the ice bath, some compression boots, and just try and sort out all the niggles. Some of the guys that didn't have a lot of game time will go into the field with Ross Becker, the S&C, and get some of the necessary S&C work. On a Tuesday night, our teams will be selected in this room. Behind me is a board with all the names on, and then we'll try and structure or focus on what we need to do, what we need to better for the up and coming game. And then on a Thursday night, typically we'll start off slowly with a few stretches and maybe spend 20-30 minutes with the guys, and then leave it in their hands that they run the play that we've decided to play the weekend.
Coach, there's a lot of emphasis being put on, okay, this is a semi-professional league. You guys do a lot of analysis, video analysis, or don't you?
Yeah, we use a lot of that. We base a lot of our decisions on analysing the opponents. We also pick certain players on stats that they've given us over an average of a few games. So it definitely plays a big role. I know a lot of the other teams put maybe even more into it, and it's a competitive segment of Super League A rugby.
Coach, going through the season, starting off as a backline coach, and now where you are captain of the ship, what has changed, and how have you been finding this journey?
This ease still an amazing journey. It's been probably one of the biggest up and down seasons I've ever experienced. We went through some deep waters, but we came out on the other side, and I will honestly not change this season as it has been going for anything. Yes, maybe one or two calls could have gone our way, and maybe one or two things we could have done differently. But as long as we believe we're still on the journey, I'm very happy.
Now, I want to know, obviously, before we have our conversation, Dale's probably flirting with you a little bit here, because, you know, I mean, might just need an extra fly off.
Yeah.
But
Got your contract.
I'm actually registered at MEC.
Hamilton's the club rich in history. As I'm looking just over to my left, the President Cup is standing over there. You in that, in the running for the playoffs as well. How crucial is it for a club so rich in history like Hamilton's to get into that top six and that playoffs? I mean, there's been legends that have graced the jersey here. Former provincial, former international players as well. How crucial is it for a club with the esteem of Hamilton's to continuously and consistently play for playoffs and for higher honours?
Look, obviously, behind the scenes, there's a lot of things that happen, and a club like this can only survive and continue if they have sponsors. And with that always comes a bit of responsibility on your shoulders. And to make the top six is I want to kind of say, it's not negotiable. But there's also 14 other teams that feel exactly the same. We've seen this year, probably one of the best SLA seasons I've seen, where upsets. People write off teams and they come back and they win a bigger team. So for us, we tick boxes game by game. This weekend we've got a bye. Our last game is against SK Warmers.
Quite a derby.
It's got to be one, and we're just going to approach it exactly the same. All the respect we have for all our opponents, but we need to tick that, and by ticking that, we'll secure our place in the top six. Again, anything else around us can happen and influence. This log has been changing over the last few weeks. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Question from my side, Coach Rob, is I think a lot of people in this club and yourself must be very excited for the inclusion in the Club Rugby World Cup.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little more about it for those that don't know about it?
So the first amateur World Cup champs will be played next year in September in France. There's about 20 countries that's been invited all over the world, and we will physically be representing South Africa. I think it's a massive honor for us as a club. It says a lot of, and it might be influenced with the 1875 in the background, but it's definitely something that's going to be amazing. It's something we're already starting to work towards. We have a very young side. I think our average caps in the first team is about 11.
Sure.
We play against teams that's average is 34, 40 plus. So I know for a fact that in our pool, so it will work basically the same as the World Cup, where there's 20 teams, there's 4 pools. We number one rated number one in Pool B, and in that pool we will join it with Ireland, Scotland, and Portugal. So it will work on the same principles where you play 3 games and then work through to a quarters and a semis, and this all will happen about 2 weeks before the World Cup kicks off in France.
Any plans to stay for the World Cup, Coach?
Definitely.
I mean, that's an opportunity.
No, definitely. I'm expecting a few calls for people to want me to stay, so definitely.
So whoever's watching out there, Rob and the team are going to be there next year. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. Now you've got a derby left. How's prep going? I know the boys are downstairs doing that recovery session, as you said. Dave is probably in there with the ice bath as well. In the ice bath as well. How do you prepare for a derby like this? 2 teams on total opposite ends of the league. SK Warmers still needing to fight, and they still have the opportunity, according to the logs, to might just sneak in there and not get relegated. How do you approach a game like that against opponents that are 10-1 going to be hungry to beat not only their neighbors, but they want some bragging rights at the end of the day.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, all due respect, the SK Warmers is probably that one game that everyone don't want to play. They're unpredictable, and they can turn anything around at any time. They're not in a good place now, and I believe that the last 2 years weren't kind to them. But again, if it's one of the varsities or if it's one of the other top teams above us in the top 6 now, or SK Warmers, we're going to approach it the same. We stick to our plan. We tick our boxes over the next 2 weeks. We recover well. We feel right. We come down to practice. We just do our thing. We've prided ourselves to try and go out on the field and play our style. Maybe we've gotten a bit predictable, and maybe that's something that SK can look at. But also maybe we have something up the sleeve for them. So we're going to approach the next 2 weeks exactly the same as any other opponent.
Coach Rob, my last question. So a lot of our viewers at home, they don't understand what goes on behind the scenes. So they thinking on a Saturday, the season's just going to finish next week Saturday and then everything's done. Coach Rob's just going to have a beer and that's it. What happens then from the last game up until next year?
So I'm going to have that beer. So we done next week Saturday. There's a few teams that still needs to play up until the last weekend in August. And then the playoffs start the first weekend in September. It seems that we will be that weekend off when the World Cup Sevens are here. And then the last 2 weekends in September, it will run into the semis and the final. After that, we start preparing for the Western Province Sevens tournament. So we got probably about 2.5 weeks off, and we'll just kick back in. I'll have some fresh guys here again, and we'll try and attempt to play it as well as we did last year.
100%.
Oh, well, there you have it now. You heard it here first. Coach Robert Olivier is doing fantastic work here at Hamilton's, and the club itself, fantastic. The oldest club in South Africa, and they're going to be representing us as a nation at the World Champs in France. Hopefully sipping on quite a few champagne there. Although you don't really have champagne unless you have it in France.
Definitely.
That's where
It's the only place you get it.
Yeah, and we are hopeful. No, we're not even hopeful. We are confident that they're going to bring back the trophy. For more info on what's happening at Hamilton's, simple thing you can do, go to hamiltonrfc.co.za, and all the information is on there. You can check them out on social media as well. We'll tag them in our socials as well, so you can just click on there if you want to be a part of this journey, and you want, Coach Rob, a prospective player is looking at this. What does he need to do to get involved with this club?
Yeah, get in contact with us. I think we have quite a good social media presence out there. So get involved, come down, have a look. Picking a club today is like picking a career. You need to pick a place where you want to be. Some of our guys drive far, but they want to be here. So you want to become part of this family, come down, have a beer with us here, have a run on the pitch, and then hopefully this can become your home.
Defs. You heard it now from the man himself. So get in contact with everybody here involved at Hamilton RFC. I can't wait to come back here, and hopefully, we can have a beer here at Saggy Stone, myself and Dale, and you, of course, Coach Rob. Lucian is not here, so he doesn't count. He doesn't count anymore. But we want to thank you for coming onto the show, dedicating this time, and just coming to have a chat with us. So everybody, not only us, but also our viewers, have a better understanding of what happens at Hamilton's. There's a lot of misinformation about what happens at a club, and that's why we're here. We're here to show everybody what is happening at the club. All the information comes from you, and you guys are doing stellar work. Good luck with the playoffs and the preparation for not only the sevens, but obviously going into next year's league season and that big 2 weeks in France. Yes! So I wish I could go to France, Pierre. That would be lekker. But thanks so much for joining us. It was an absolute pleasure having you.
Thank you guys. I really appreciate it. Thank
Awesome.
you. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll be back right after this.
Coach's Corner, once again doing the most. Coach Robert Olivier, head coach, firstly backline coach, now head coach of Hamilton SPRFC, doing amazing work with the guys. Great guy.
Always good to hear from the coaches and to hear what they're actually going through. And I think it's beautiful that we have this segment in the show to actually show the viewers at home that just come on a Saturday and
They
get
just think it happens.
upset. They're very upset. What are coaches doing at the field? What doen die manne in die week? So it's good to see what they actually do in the week and hear from the horse's mouth, as you've previously said.
Yeah, no, it's been an absolutely fantastic time that we've had here. We've come to that part of the show where we've got to say goodbye. Firstly, before I do that, Dale, it's been absolutely fantastic having you here. Thank you for stepping up to the plate. It's always good to have you. It's always good to work with you. We're colleagues here, but we're more family. Thank you so much for sticking out here, man, at Hamilton.
No, thank you for having me. It was a pleasure. You made it very, very easy. But I enjoyed also being here at Hamilton Rugby Club. Good club, and to learn a little more about the club. And then I also just want to encourage everybody to keep watching. And if you've enjoyed the show, share it with your friends, family. Hit that like button, subscribe with that bell, and then you'll know when we're going live.
Yeah.
And then you look forward to whatever's happening this weekend, and we'll come through as we always do.
Ja, ons stiek uit hom. Ons kom nie meer nie lag hier nie. Ons is Club Rugby Live. Next level this stuff. Dale, it's been absolutely amazing. I spoke to Dale. For all the coaches out there, he might be available for another stint in this SLA, but you've got to come through me, Pierre, and Mike first before you do that. So, you know, just check out on our socials. Speaking of our socials, at Club Rugby Live on Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, you name it, we've got it. Push that like button and do us a favor, share it with your world as well. And of course, you're watching right here on YouTube. So share not only this episode, but share our channel with, as Dale said, with your friends, your family, with your entire world, and help us to reach more people and show them the greatness of club rugby, not only here in Western Province, but especially in the Boland as well. Boland is the union, if you did not know, with the most clubs in the entire world, and that's a brilliant achievement. It just goes to show how much talent is there.
100%. I mean, it's all under our nose. If Boland Rugby is going good like it is at the moment, things are going good with the Springboks.
Ja, nee, dis 'n ou gesegde daai vir julle wat nie weet nie. Maar nietemin, ek gaan nie meer baie tyd mors hierso nie. I just want to say thank you to Dale once again for stepping up to the plate, and I know you're going to be here again. We'll maybe speak to Pierre and Mike about doing a three-way. Not that, you know what I'm talking about. Getting another presenter in here and having a chat. It's all about fun here on the Not So Normal Rugby Show, and we like to showcase clubs like these, rich in history. There's a lot of you in the Boland as well. Let us get to your clubs and let us showcase your clubs, not only to our subscribers, but to the rest of the world as well. And you can do that by emailing us at clubrugbylive@gmail.com. That's clubrugbylive@gmail.com. Alternatively, for any sort of bookings, any sort of information that you need, especially the 11th of August, our golf day, Bosch and Muir Golf Club, it's going to be absolutely fantastic. I can tell you that. You can contact Pierre 074-774-2904. The number is at the bottom of your screen as well. From myself, Hershey V, and everybody here at Hamilton, we want to say thank you not only to you guys, the viewers and subscribers, Dale and Pierre, but also to Rhino Productions, our partner, and of course in collaboration with FFG Sports. This has been another episode of the Not So Normal Rugby Show. We'll be back with more next week. Ciao, ciao.